Annyeong. Hello. Hello, hello. Per usual, can you hear me? I feel like I start that every single time the same way. Can you guys hear me out there? How are you guys doing? Because I'm a mess. I'm a good mess. I'm a good mess. I'm a happy mess. I'm a blessed mess. Hello, Ariana. Hello. I am, you guys, Korean language school. Those two words, man. I actually was just at a cafe, though, by the way. I was just at a cafe and I am almost done with this next video. It is like, I could upload it right now, but I just always make sure to do a few little extra like run throughs, make sure it's all, no weird, I don't know, words I spelled wrong or something. I'm sure I still don't catch everything, but almost done. It has been a minute. Hi, Karen. So good to see wonderful faces of names I know. I really though, like I appreciate a lot of direct messages that you guys give me or you guys ask me questions and I really try my best. I try my best to reply when I can. But today I had my midterm at school. Hi Mo, by the way. Mo is my nickname that people all like some people in America don't know my real name is Megan. They think my real name is Mo because I introduced myself to people as Mo and I spelled it just like that. So, anyways, Amanda, yes, I made it home okay. I'm here in Seoul. It started to rain just a little bit, but the cafe I ended up going to was really close to my house. Amanda knew that I was at the cafe editing this video because I really do want to get a video out here so soon, so soon. Hopefully tomorrow, if not the day after, because it is done. It's done. But yeah, I was hi KB Books again. Hope you're well. I am tired, but I'm good. Millie, hi. Hi guys. So I finally finished my midterm exam today. Hello, Dennis. I was so tired today, but I was very thankful that the Lord intervened and He helped bring so many Korean words to my memory that I didn't even know I had in there. But I had to take 4 hours worth of tests, but I guess it was kind of like 3 hours and 10 minutes worth of tests because you get a 40-minute break and then a 10-minute break. But we did it. It's done. I now have actually a little bit of time. Like today, I didn't have homework because I tested all day. And then tomorrow, we get right back into book number 2. Within less than a month, we went through an entire book of knowledge. So that could probably describe it for you guys as to how hectic studying for a midterm was. We went through a whole book. Like, do I have the book here? We went through this whole thing, and this is just the textbook. There's like, all the knowledge, or just a little bit. We went through this, and this is just the reading, like study book. There's a writing, and then there's there's 2 more books, like a practice book, and then another writing book. So it was a lot. But hello to bomb.com. Yes. Hi, Ashley and Helen. You guys are wonderful people. I love when I get to see your name again. That makes me so happy when I see you guys come back. But there are a few things that I did want to talk about other than just me venting about school being insane. It really is insane. So if you want to describe if you are curious to know more about school, you can feel free to ask in the questions. But I also have some COVID updates if you want to hear about those, school updates about those. I have some questions about future videos in the chat box. What do you want to talk about first? COVID, more in depth about school, questions about future video ideas. Which do you prefer? I will read your comments while you answer. Level 3 here. We just finished a book as well and started a new one today. Yes, level 3. Okay, so did you start at Sogang in level 1? Did you skip level 1? I mostly started in level 1 because I just wanted it to be as easy of a start as possible, and I already heard it was a lot. So did you start in level 2, 1? Did you start in level 3? Did you self-study on your own? Hi, Emily. Thank you so much for the good wishes as well. Send me some Korean language motivation. I have been slacking. Bad Karen. So honestly, if it wasn't for class, I think I would also be slacking because like in class, I want to slack. But if anybody has been to a Korean language school, you know it's like a little snowball. And if you don't learn something, like great, maybe you had like a relaxing day off because you decided not to do your homework. But it's just all so accumulative and it's so fast that like when you don't learn something, they already expected for you to learn tomorrow's information. So if you didn't learn yesterday's information, good luck. Good luck. So, Korean motivation. Fighting! You got this! If you're coming to Korea, it is so much easier if you know the language, your life, your experience. If you know something, it really will go a long way. So, if you're coming, there's your motivation. It will make your trip even better. April 17th, hopefully no more curfew. Yes, that is so soon. Oh my gosh, it's 5 days. At least 5 days for me. 5 days for you too, probably. Okay, COVID updates heading over in June. Okay, so I'll talk about COVID just because the most is COVID questions. So I made a video about free testing. If you did not see it, it was the last video that I made. I think it was 2 weeks ago. And it shows like the free public testing center, how you do it, how you get the free test done. I have had a few people that have arrived, like, some subscribers that reached out to me because I asked if you guys have come to Korea anytime soon, please reach out to me so that I can like relay information. And everybody who lands receives this piece of paper. I have my phone here. I'm trying to pull it up. But also say hi because I'll post it on my Instagram story. But uh, the there's a piece of paper that you get and I'm gonna read it off once I find it. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Where you at though? Burr, burr, burr. Okay, it's under screenshots. Where did my screenshots go? Okay, 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 okay. I'm not I'm pretty bad at technology, I'm not that bad. Okay. So, it says for those who and by the way, if you don't know about registering your vaccination online, in order to skip quarantine, you have to register your vaccination online. It's called a Q code. And I've heard it doesn't take too long, but you cannot register your vaccination until you have received your PCR test results because within the let me verify my vaccination portion, you have to add your PCR test results. So you can't just like do it way in advance. It literally has to be like you want to do it right after your PCR test information, but everybody I've spoken to says you get like a QR code and it comes back to you super quickly. So it's not like you have to wait a really long time and you're like, am I going to get it back? It comes back to you really fast, which is really good. And if anything were to go wrong, they can help you in Korea to do it as well. But everybody I talked to said it's better for you to get it done in advance. And then when you do arrive, there's the sheet of paper that you are given. And it says that within the first 24 hours, where is it? I'm pretty sure it's 24 hours. Where'd it go? Yeah, undergo a PCR screening on the first day of arrival. So when you arrive, it should be the first day. Now, if you arrive really late at night, it's just within the first day. So within the first 24 hours. And then after 6 to 7 days, on the 6th or 7th day of you're in Korea, you have to get an antigen test. And it does say on this piece of paper that if you are Korean or you're staying on a long-term visa, so that does not mean tourist, that doesn't mean short-term visa, that means that you're allowed to go to the places that I mentioned in the video. It does say if you're on a short-term visa that you have to go get it done and like pay for a PCR test. But everybody's asking me like, do I turn it in? Where do I turn it in? I never had to turn it in when I had to get a PCR test taken. Nobody that I know has had to turn it in. So don't worry about the act of having to turn it in. Someone supposedly, if you need to reach or if you need to turn it in, someone will reach out to you. They will call you or they'll text you or text the number that you give them, like upon arrival or in that like QR code, what's like a number that they can reach you at. Not anybody that I know has received any calls, any like, "Hey, did you do it? Did you finish it?" From my understanding, you're just taking it so that it's safe, like, so that, if it does come back positive, they are notified of it in their system. So they know if you're positive, you need to quarantine. So, and then the 6th and 7th day, it says it can be like the public health clinic. Some people I know on the short-term visas, they went to the Incheon airport and it's in the Incheon airport, they have like places that you can test, but I believe that that is more expensive. After my research, that's one of the most expensive places to get the test taken. So I would just go somewhere else to get the test taken. But also, if you're not turning it in, I don't really understand why short-term visa has to pay for it. Like, if I were in your shoes and I was also doing a short-term visa, I would probably go get it at the public health clinic. And then if they tell me I can't, then I'll go pay for it. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really understand. Let me quickly read over the comments. I'm at Seoul National University as an exchange student, but the pace seems to be the same as Sogan. I've studied. Oh, okay. So you've studied before. Are you thriving? Do you feel like you're dying? You're gonna be there in September in Korea. Yes, I'm so excited for you, Karen. Da, 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 da. Yes, not doing your homework, you fall behind real fast in school. Korea isn't what it used to be. It's become a sad place. I do think that COVID and things like this have still caused like a lot of effect. But when I tell you the number of people that were traveling this weekend, because I too took a little trip, and so did everybody else in Korea, because I couldn't even buy a KTX to get home, like a KTX ticket to get home, because it was so packed. So I do think that, yes, it has been a kind of like sad season of less action, less doing, less people out and about. But I do think that it is moving in a good direction, honestly. I can confirm. I made it getting through the airport so much faster when arriving. Good, 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 good. Yes, because you had the Q code. Q code? Q code, I think is what it's called. Oh, you saw my video on Dingle. Yeah. I just really enjoy doing like reaction videos like that, and I really hope I can eventually maybe switch to an entertainment visa and keep doing stuff like that because it could, eventually become a job. Maybe I don't know. I just love doing those kind of videos. Like I love reacting, and hopefully my Korean can improve so I can use that in the videos too. Got my first PCR test done at Gangnam Health Department. It was free. See, a lot of people I know still took the free ones. So in my head, I'm just like, why do they need to pay? Why do they need to pay if you're not turning it in? It's good to get tested. I think everybody should get tested because maybe they didn't know they had, Rona. But like, why do some people need to pay if nobody's turning them in? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying to do anything. I'm just saying I don't know. I'm on a short-term visa, arrived a week ago. So I had to do my second test yesterday. They sent me a message saying that I couldn't do it in the temporary health center. That's so interesting because it literally says on this sheet of paper that everybody gets that you can go to the public health center. Literally says. Yeah. Yeah, I really don't know. I guess also coronavirus has gotten like it's so weird. It skyrocketed, but then I just feel like maybe it's just so many people have it that we don't even talk about it as much anymore. Let's look it up, shall we? COVID case numbers in Korea. COVID case numbers in South Korea. How high we getting? Where we at now? New record? Wow. It is insane to see this little graph go from like nothing, 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 nothing to bam. But as you can see, it's peaked a lot and like clearly it is coming down. But I mean, we're still averaging 210,000 new cases, whereas March 16th we had 621,000. I hear progress. That's what I hear. But yeah, as you can see, like we're coming back down. Uh this variant is very, very contagious. I really don't know of a single friend at this rate who hasn't had it. And literally in South Korea, they created, I thought this was funny, honestly. They made like a public article post that said, if you don't get COVID, you don't have friends. And I was like, wow, they out here saying it. Okay. Hi, Marlena. Annyeong. Sarange. I love you, Marlena. Starting on Monday, no longer available. I could just buy a self-diagnostic test in a pharmacy. So that's what I did. Okay, so there are like the at-home tests that are also antigen tests that you can buy in every pharmacy. If you don't know what pharmacy is, use like Papago and you can translate, and it's just Yaku. Um, I can attempt to. I don't have like a. I'm gonna try really hard. The font is so small. I can't uh, read it, but that means pharmacy. And if you type, is that? I literally don't know why the font is so small. I can't even. I can't even see what I typed. Did I type it? Yeah. Okay. So that means pharmacy here in South Korea. Look at that! I typed it all in Korean myself. Midterm came to some use. So if you type that, coming back, type that into Naver or Kakao Maps, it will come up to pharmacies near you. But honestly, you could walk the streets for 5 minutes. You're going to find one. And they sell the little like at home tests. And so you can just buy them there, I guess. But then I'm also like, are you turning that in? Are you turning that one in? They just went from being so, helicopter parent where it's like, we're going to follow you around at all times. I'm in Korea since February and a long-term visa, and it's the same price indeed. It's better to go to health centers, and then it's free. Correct. Yeah. So the health centers, the last video I made is free. And if you can go there, I would just go there first. And maybe you have to get something shoved up your nose a second time. That would stink. But if you have the opportunity to save money, I would always save money, especially because PCR tests can be like $100 USD. How are you? I am a little sleepy from having to study my life away, but I'm doing very well. I'm feeling extremely blessed. I was able to head over to Busan this weekend. I didn't post about it anywhere just because just wanted it to be a me and one of my really good friends now. Her name is Hope. She has a YouTube channel as well. My name's Hope. Love her. Got to meet her in person and just be in Busan and kind of just me, myself, and this beautiful view. I was so thankful. So I'm doing much better after having a really nice, relaxing weekend. Thank you for asking. And then this weekend's Easter. I'm so excited. Resurrection Day. Celebrate. I'm so ready. If you want to stay in Korea after 1 year Korean language program, what visa should I have to apply? Please tell me. I don't want to do a degree. So you don't want to continue with Korean language, but you want to stay in some way, shape, or form. You're just going to be completely honest. There are jobs that you can find. You just have to understand that the reason why it's really hard to find a job that is not a teaching job is because, oh, this chair is, okay. It was like hitting the table. The reason why it's really hard to not find non-teaching jobs is because the Korean company will have to sponsor your visa, which literally means they are paying for you to live in Korea. When there's somebody else in Korea who is just as capable of doing your job, but they don't have to pay to keep you there, it's like, who are we going to pick? Lose a lot of money? Not lose a lot of money, So it's it stinks, but there's there are possible ways to find jobs. It's kind of weird that, like, some people will even use Craigslist because Craigslist isn't as, like, strange or sketchy as it is in America here in Korea. But it is very difficult. So teaching is probably, like, your best way to stay, and at least it's a job, so you're making money. I really recommend that you teach in public schools over Hagwons, just from, a unanimous, like, I would say a lot of people, not everybody, but many people will say that public schools often have better experiences than Hagwons, or the horror stories more so come from Hagwons over the public schools. But a lot of public schools you don't get to pick, so that kind of stinks too. Another option is an entertainment visa. You have to be very, very, very careful who you sign with, because you can kind of sign your life away with maybe not so wonderful companies that want to use you, or there's a bunch of clauses that keep you stuck in there. So it's really sad. You have to be really, really careful about entertainment visas. And then I would also say, sometimes you can find, like, part-time jobs, but again, like, the visa thing, it's really, really, really hard. You It's honestly, like, as much as it sucks, it's teaching, it's language program, it's actual school, it's entertainment, which again, you have to be really careful with the entertainment visas. If you care more, I can talk about it more. But now that things are kind of opening back up, a lot of people visa hop. If you want to, or you have a way that you can work online, you can do, or marry a Korean. You can always get that ring, you can always get that ring to a Korean native. You'll be able to stay here for as long as you would like. But you can visa hop. It is honestly a very feasible option now that things are kind of opening back up. And a lot of people do it. They just go to another country for a little, they come back, and they just keep doing tourist visas over and over again. And if you find a way to work online, it's a great way to be in Korea. But the only downside to that is you don't have an ARC card. And so there's a lot of things that aren't open to you when you don't have an ARC card. Like, you can't have food delivered to your house. You can't have coupon. There's a bank system that you can't be a part of. Girl, stop. Why do you do this to me? Guys, Amanda is a good friend of mine, and she is too giving. You give. You already. Ugh. Girl, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot to me. But stop it. I'm going to see you in person, okay? That's all I need. But I do appreciate you supporting me. I really do. Thank you. I love your heart first, and that is priority. You're so sweet. Thank you. I do try to help, but anyways, I love you, girl. But yeah, so you can visa hop, and it's maybe you don't have the most open experience, but you can still have a wonderful time if you do not want to go. I'm going to Bangladesh to Korea next month. So exciting. I'm excited for you. I'm so, so excited. 2 of your Korean friends had COVID. Oh my gosh, I'm glad they recovered. Yeah, so many of my friends also have COVID, or have and had COVID. And you'll know if someone had COVID because they can't stop coughing. And it's like the cough, there's like a COVID cough that lasts a really long time. And so every time it's like you hear someone cough, you're like, they either have it or had it. Matto, he is risen. Happy Easter. Happy Easter, Matto. Leanne, hi, I'm trying to register my vaccine online so I don't have to quarantine, and the questions are confusing. Have you seen them or how to fill them out? I have looked them over. Maybe if there's like a specific question that you are confused about, you can tell me which one. I have looked it over. I wasn't too confused. I do know a lot of people struggle with the address. I think if the address is close, like if it's not exact, you can always tell them when you arrive at customs, like, I did the QR code. It wasn't letting me put in this exact address. So I picked like the exact, like the address that's like right there, or maybe there was like one number that is off or something. If you're a little too worried, you can wait until, supposedly you can wait until you arrive, but I do think that that's just going to extend the whole long process and make it way more complicated. So The only thing I've heard is like the address, and I would recommend copy and pasting whatever address you have into like Papago, translating it, or trying to find like the actual Korean, like a lot of people will get Airbnbs, and they will send, or like in the thing it will say this is your address, but it translates it. I would like personally message the Airbnb host and say, can you please send me the actual Korean address, because it's so much better if you can actually input hangul, like the actual Korean written out, rather than like the English translated version. That goes for like a million things where you have to put your Airbnb places. Always ask your Airbnb host or wherever you're staying, what is the actual Korean address? Take a picture of it, save it in your phone, because when you are in the plane coming to Korea, you're going to have to write that out on like a gazillion different forms. And sometimes if you don't have internet, you can't find the address. So make sure that address is saved into your phone. Along with, if you like are getting a SIM card in advance, you're going to need that phone number. You're going to need your passport nearby, because you're going to need to use that to fill out the paperwork on the airplane. So hopefully that helps you. But if there's a specific question on that form, you can ask me and I can try to help more so too. 영어 잘 세상에. 감사합니다. There are even foreign homeless people who once were English teachers and got old and broke. There is no. I think that you're just saying things to cause a little bit of drama, because that's not true. Sorry. It is really sad because like a lot of people there are, so okay, if you guys saw that I was on that dingle video, I love doing that. I just don't like it that people like they use that. They see you're in Korea, and then I've gotten a lot of interesting messages, to say the least, of people who, yeah, I don't know. They really don't want, like there are a lot of foreigners that have a lot of stories, I'm sure that you found all over the internet. And like if you think of it though, it's pretty unanimous amongst a lot of countries. People who are not natives to that country, a lot of countries there's like a churn, like there's like a turnover in their heart of like, not that they're not welcomed, but it's not that they'll ever be fully accepted. And it's really sad because no matter how hard you try in Korea as a foreigner, you can't fit in ever. Like you always will stand out. I could learn Korean the most fluently that I possibly can. And so just I want people to understand the expectation that like no country is perfect. And if you are a foreigner coming to Korea, remember that there will be good moments, there will be difficult moments. I went to Busan. Someone asked, have you been to Busan? What are sites you must see? I actually lived in Busan longer than I've lived in Busan longer than I have Seoul. I love Busan. I love the weather. I love that it's slow paced. But for the first time ever, I was actually excited to leave Busan because I remembered how much more I stick out in Busan than in Seoul. I'm able to hide. There's so many foreigners around me all the time here in Seoul. And the farther that you leave Seoul, the less likely that people have seen foreigners, or maybe they're just not as common. Or in Busan, it's like a Florida of America. It's a traveling city. So people will come to Busan to vacation, and then they're like, oh, foreigner, like, whoa. And there's always going to be people everywhere that are so excited to see a foreigner. So they'll take your picture, or they'll stare at you for a really long time, or there are people that are unhappy that you are there, and they will make it known in their facial expressions or the way that they look at you. And that literally is the same for every country. So just remember that. I love Korea, but it's also happened in Korea. It's happened to me in China. I lived in China. It's literally it in France. It's happened to me all over the world. As soon as they find out that you're not a native, there's not always the sense of love that we all want. And it breaks my heart, and it really just shows how broken like the world is, that we can't just love each other well. There's so much evidence in this world of sin and brokenness, and it's heartbreaking, but it's also a wonderful opportunity to step in and be the change and be the difference and love people well. So, my little tangent. Sorry about that. Uh, let's go back to the comments. Okay, I'm going to read the comment related to what I just said. That's how I feel too, and it is sad these days that foreigners aren't fully accepted. Even though I haven't met any rude, nasty Koreans, all are pleasant and friendly. Oh yeah, so many Koreans, so kind, so friendly, so patient, especially with my broken Korean that I'm trying to teach or learn, and I'm trying to like speak. People misunderstanding, and they're always like, "Oh, it's okay, like, don't worry," and they just appreciate that, like, I wanna be respectful and, like, use your language in your country. I'm trying my best, my pronunciation's horrible, but we're working on it, and it just is really sad that the world is the world. It's not, in Korea, I can say, yeah, I can specifically talk about Korea because 'cause I'm in Korea right now, but all over the world, they're just nasty people, which is really, really sad. Oh, Lord, come soon. Been here for over 2 weeks. Yeah, so many, many wonderful people. I have not been poorly treated to a state that is bad, bad. I just do have friends that have been treated, really, really poorly here, and it really does break my heart. And when you get the question, "How long would you be here?" It breaks my heart. I wish I can stay. Like, you wish that you could stay. Yeah, so that is another thing that's hard about being a foreigner in another country. Unless you're looking for that ring, there's not really a way for you, like, unless you find other ways to stay, there's no way for you to live here. But at the same time, that's just because, all countries want to regulate who's living in their country and uh, regulate for the good of the country, keeping everybody accountable and making sure that nobody's just living in a country like tax free and just, taking advantage of healthcare or anything like that. So there is good, intent behind it, but it is sad that it is hard when you love to, like, you want to stay somewhere, you want to live somewhere, and you can't even find a visa that really like helps that. Anyways, okay, I'm going to go back up to some of these questions. Just applied for my ARC today. Good, good, good. Surreal. Ah. Oh, couldn't have gotten this far without your help. Ashley, I'm so glad that I could help you in some way, shape, or form. I went to go apply for my ARC, and then they told me I can't apply at the place that I went. I had to go to a different one. And I was like, oh, good. I'm doing well. Like, I had all this video, like, footage in the place recorded. I was like so ready. And I wasn't thinking when I made the appointment. I just went to the one that I've always been to in the past. And I couldn't do that. And I asked my school and they didn't say anything. I guess they sent like a separate email like to everybody, but I didn't look at it because had already made the appointment and they were just calling it like an appointment reminder. So I emailed and I was like, "Oh, is this the right place? Like, I hope this is the right place. I tried to look it up. I think it's okay." And they're like, "Cool, we got your appointment." And then I went in, waited for 2 hours, and then they were like, "We can't help you." And now I have to wait another 5 weeks. So I love that for myself. It's okay. I will be just fine. Do you know how to check registration name for cell phone verification? Do you know how to check registered name for cell phone verification? I am not sure I know what you mean, but if they're ever talking about like what is your name, you want to make sure it's the exact same way on your passport. And for those of you who have middle names, you're going to want to, in Korea, it's last, first, middle. And it's usually like last, comma, first, middle. Well, what are some sights to see in Busan? Okay, I'll answer this kind of quickly, as quickly as I can. Okay, so currently in Kwangali Beach, I'm not. I'm so sorry. I didn't actually take a picture of when it ends, but they're doing a drone light show on the beach almost every night. It was stunning. It was so cool. I've never seen. I don't know if any of you guys have seen a drone light show. It was at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. on some days, and I think it was like 9 and 11 on some days, but it was super, super, super cool. I'm trying to find a picture of it so I could show it to you. Here we go. Here we go. These are drones in the sky. Look at that. They out here making pictures and stuff. They're out here moving. Sorry, my phone is so dirty. You probably can't tell that it's moving, can you? No, you can't. Okay. Well, it's cool. It's a drone light show. So I really recommend that. And also Guanali Beach is probably my favorite just because it's so beautiful with the bridge and stuff. The view from my room was just beautiful. Oh, no, no. There it is. So I really love that beach. There is a ramen place in Sumyong. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know all about it at this point because I always talk about it every time I talk about Busan. But there is a ramen place. If you want to screenshot that guy, there's a ramen place that I love it. Oh, chef's kiss every time. I love this place. It is my favorite place to go in Busan. Um, Samyang I really like because Samyang is like a baby Seoul or like kind of like a baby New York City. A lot of really cute cafes and a little bit less crowded than Seoul. So I also really like Samyang for cafe hopping. If you want my friend Hope took me to this place. If you want like real New York style pizza, and I'm talking like the crust is actually like thick and good, and he learned how to make it in New York, and it's like the best pizza, probably some of the best pizza I have had in all of Korea. This is on Kwanali Beach as well. It's called Seoul Tap. This place was so good. I'm serious. Love it. For sightseeing, there is obviously you're against the water, so there is just beautiful places all over the place because there's mountains and you can hike up. But there is a temple on the water, and I do not recall off the top of my head where it is, but it's in Busan or close to Busan. There's a temple literally like off of the water. And if you type into Google, maybe like temple Busan water, you might be able to find it. But it is stunning. All my friends showed me pictures of it, and it was just absolutely breathtaking. So another really beautiful place to check out. But just walking along the beach anywhere. I made a cafe hopping video a while ago, and it has all of my like cafes that I really liked, and a lot of them are from Busan. So if you're interested, I wonder if I can find that really quick. If you're interested in maybe cafes, there is one cafe that's pretty popular, and it's called The Wave, I believe, and it's a part of that video. And that was probably one of the most, I mean, it's kind of like off in the middle of nowhere, but that was one of the most beautiful sights that I had ever seen in a cafe, like right against the ocean. Okay, I found it. So this, if you are interested in any cafes, there's cafes from all over, but a lot of the cafes in that video are from Busan. Okay, moving on. Next question. Coming to Korea in 10 days after 2 years of waiting. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. I'm having issues entering the hotel address on Army base for the Q code. I put in the Q code to the base. Yes, yeah, that's good. Don't worry too much about the exact location because in the airport, you can always tell them, like, hey, I inputted it, but it wasn't really working. So I just put the actual Army base itself. This is a specific, and I'm sure they'll help you if something is wrong. But a lot of people I know are saying they've had to put a close address and it's still working just fine. If you are rich and exceptional, good, and able to get a good job, you are more than welcome and fluent in Korean and have a university degree. They need to change their standards. Yeah, it is difficult. Oh, 안녕하세요. 날짜. Um, can't wait to go to Busan. Just need to work out the right time. A bit hard, yeah, with the school. So going to any trip or going on any trip, being in school, I feel your pain. I left for Busan Friday, like in the middle of class. Honestly, I love my class. My teachers are amazing. but it was Friday after 5 days. The midterm is in our future. I was so tired. I was just sitting there. Everything was going over my head, all of it. I was like, I am not retaining anything. And either I can leave right now and I can make a 2.5 hour earlier bus plus go to Gangnam and see the cherry blossoms. I could either do that or I could sit here in class and continue to not absorb any of the information. Which one did I choose? Guess. I left. So I saw the cherry blossoms at Gangnam Station. I'm sorry, not Gangnam Station, Jamsil, which is near Lotte Tower, which is like the Disneyland of Korea. It was so pretty. I'm trying to find pictures again. It was so beautiful. It was the most cherry blossoms I had ever done seen. They were everywhere. It was beautiful. Where they at though? Wow! Oh, it hates my phone. It was like, okay, first of all, cherry blossom season, even though it's beautiful and stunning, the amount of people that be out here just I mean, obviously I'm doing it too, so I'm not like judging them. I'm just saying, like, I've never seen so many people taking pictures in my life at every corner of every street. There's just pictures everywhere all the time. And like in Korea, that's already like a common thing. But you throw some cherry blossoms on those trees and it is enhanced. They were everywhere. It's crazy. But it was really beautiful. And they're already like almost all gone. So now I understand why everybody was out is because they go so fast. Your Busan cafe hopping video is one of my favorites. I was able to visit most of them when I was there last summer. Oh my gosh, super excited to visit again September. I'm really glad that you liked that video. Girl, person, Kylie, I'm assuming girl. I have so much content and that like cafe hopping video is one of my favorite videos to make. I really love vlogs. Okay, this is actually a question and I really do need your help. If you guys don't mind typing 1 or 2 and I want you to be very honest, okay? 1, I will explain in a second. 2. Okay. So, just today actually, was going through all of my footage to find certain things for this video. I have so much amazing content from maybe a month ago, maybe like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and it's either of like cafes or it's a vlog that I made, but I get so caught up in helping people that I don't really upload vlogs, but a lot of people really like vlogs. Type 1 if you don't care when the video is from, if you don't mind seeing maybe a vlog that is a little bit older. And then 2 would be you only prefer like super recent vlogs that are updated and from right now. I would love to know which one you prefer because if you don't mind the older content, and I'm saying like a month, it could be older than that. I would be able to maybe potentially just upload more if you guys don't also mind it being less edited and it's just like a fun vlog of just what life looks like. Okay, so I guess you guys don't care. I really love vlogs. Okay, this is another thing. I love vlogs so much, but I don't feel like they're quite as helpful. Or if it is just a vlog, I give us everything. Karen, I love you. Um, I really try to like make the vlog still helpful, but then that becomes like a whole other video. You know, like it's like a now this is taking way more time. Whereas like I could literally sit down in a cafe, my weekend in Busan, I recorded the whole thing. I could just snip, 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 not really care too much about like the transitions or the music, just like da-da-da-da-da, put it together and upload it. And I could do that. But in my heart, it doesn't feel like that is my channel, and I don't know if you guys would like that. So if you do like it, which you're giving me a lot of ones, that does open up my mind to think like, okay, maybe I need to be a little less critical about what the final result is and just get more stuff onto the interwebs. Thanks for your videos are really helpful when you're alone in Korea and don't know where to start looking. I'm really glad that you found my videos helpful. I still love this. Give us everything. Karen, you're the best. Okay, I'm thinking of going to Sogang. Do you think it's possible to learn Korean in 1 year? And how much time do you spend on your homework? Wonderful, wonderful question. I'm going to quickly say train or bus to Busan, which is better. It depends on how quick your trip is. If it's like a weekend thing, the train is going to get you there a lot faster. If you're not worried about money, train's going to get you there. KTX, you're there in half the amount of time. I do think that flying is great. A lot of people don't think about flying. Flying is fast, but then you have to worry, like, make sure it's just all like your carry-on. But flying gets you there in like an hour and a half. Train gets you there in 2.5. Bus takes 5, 4 to 5, mostly towards 5, sometimes 5.5, sometimes 6 if you're coming from Busan to Seoul, like I was this weekend, and so is everybody else. So, cheapest bus or the slow train, and the slow train takes 5.5 hours. So it depends on if you want to save money. I take the bus because it does save me some money, or I can get more stuff done in the train because it's like forcing me to sit at a table and get stuff done on the train. Like I can get stuff done, even though I don't like the train. And if you're taking the train, make sure you sit closer to the front because the farther in the back you sit, your ears will pop. I have a train video coming, I promise. Okay, Sogang schools. So, okay, I'm in level 1. I really did. I thought I could just do level 2. Easy. I could do level 2. Could I have done it? Maybe. I would have died. But I plan to take, sorry if you hear those noises in the background. If people flush, I can hear it. If they're on this like vicinity of the building. So that's a fun little addition to my room. I said 45 times. I'm so sorry. The program is 10 weeks long, and there is a 2-week break in between each semester, but they're all 2 weeks separated at Sogang. So that would mean you have it's 52 weeks in a year. So that's basically like you could do 4 semesters because there's the 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Okay, so we've got 10 weeks plus 2 weeks plus 10 weeks plus 2 weeks plus 10 weeks plus 2 weeks plus 10 weeks plus 2 weeks. Or maybe like the winter is longer than that, but I'm pretty sure it's most of the time 10 to 10 to 10 to. So that's about like 4 semesters, 4.5 semesters. And when I say it is fast, it is fast. A lot of people, somehow you guys have seen the Sogang textbooks, or you took classes or something like this. In 5 weeks, we learned this entire book 1. And that, if you want me to just, even though I could probably, off the top of my head tell you what we learned, just thinking like, okay, you don't know anything. I'm just assuming you don't really know much Korean. I have a little paper in here. Cute. We're struggling to find the table of contents. So in a month, maybe less than 4 weeks, we learned all of Hangul. So like learned the entire Korean alphabet, how to say it, exceptions, all that stuff. How to introduce ourselves, like to tell someone how you're, like what you're currently doing, how to politely ask for something, how to tell someone that you're going somewhere, asking questions like, where are you going? What is your phone number? Being able to tell someone that their phone number is, places that you're going, what you're doing, verbs, actions, why are you going somewhere? How do you get somewhere? How do you transfer at this bus stop? What bus stop do you take? How long does it take to get there? This is all in less, than 4 weeks. And to go from, some people in this class have never, ever studied Korean, to we are in our test, in our midterm, our halfway point, having to write 10 plus sentences, like having to make a complete essay. That's only level 1, halfway. I've heard from many people every day after school, they have to go study at a cafe for 3 hours average, and you're already in class for 4. So maybe you don't get a ton of homework, but they expect you to already learn what is happening in class tomorrow. So, class, the best way to explain it, class is practicing what you have self taught yourself. But I do think that the teachers do a good job of still teaching and helping you understand slash comprehend. But you have to put forth the work and you have to study or you will fall behind so fast. So, if you take it for a year, you can only get through 4 semesters, but that is really far. I don't know of many people that make it for 4 semesters because of either exhaustion or they have to retake a level. It's very common at Sogang to retake a level because it goes so fast. And if you don't pass, you're forced to retake the level. I love the class. I love my teachers. I love my classmates. I've learned a lot. I feel way more comfortable speaking Korean. I was even able to go up to a stranger because my phone wasn't working and ask her, when does the next subway come? My phone isn't working. And it was a really cool moment to be like, dang, she improving her Korean language skills. So I love the school. I recommend the school. You just have to be ready. You can't, there's no like sitting back, relaxing. You might not get a lot of homework, like I said, but they expect you to pre learn and pre study what tomorrow's lesson is going to be about. So just throwing that out there. I hope that is a little bit helpful. 반갑습니다. Okay. Simple way to make vlogs more helpful is to include the neighbor addresses of places you visit. Yeah, which you already do. Yeah, so I do that. But true, that is helpful so that people can kind of see it and maybe go there yourself. That's a really good point. That is a really good point. Good morning from Washington State. Hello, Kim. Good morning. Good evening for me. I'm glad I could catch a little bit of your stream. I'm glad that you were able to come back, Rach and Fluffs. You're always so sweet to see your name. Again, I love to see the repeats. Does Seoul become a ghost town during Chuseok? So I don't think Seoul ever can complete Seoul. I don't think could ever become a complete ghost town unless it's before 10 a.m. Then you would think almost nobody lives here. But that is the only time that really things like you're like, what the heck? But there is a lot of traveling during Chuseok, so maybe less solely, but still there's just too many people here. I don't think it could ever be a ghost town unless it's before 10:30 a.m. I went to go eat at a restaurant at 10:30 a.m. and I literally took like a real video that I'll eventually post of like, you guys, the streets be empty. Nobody be out here. Classes are fast. Half the time I'm left there thinking, huh, what was that? No time to process. LOL. But don't let that scare you. Helen, that's a wonderful way to put it. What did they say? All right, we're on to the next concept. Got it. Great. It is really, really fast, but I do think it's not worth being scared over. It's better to just know to be prepared for. Hi, Megan. Hello, Ken. I have been watching your videos. Anyway, do you have any plan to go to East Sea in Korea? Because seaside is the cleanest. Oh, so with school, it is a little difficult, but I have already obviously been to Busan plenty of times. Many people tell me I need to go to the east and go to the sea, and I really, really want to. I think that would be a good trip for my in between the 2 semesters because I do want to go somewhere. Maybe we should vote on that. Where do I go on my 2-week vacation? Because I do want to go somewhere. I can't stay very long because I can't afford Airbnb for that long. But I really would love, even if it's just a day trip, I want to go. I will definitely go there. I've heard the place is brilliant. Yeah. Lots of good cafes with a great sea. We love it. We love it. I have to go then. For us tourists, thank God for Google Translate, Neighbor Maps, and Subway app. Amen. Instead of Google Translate, I highly, 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 highly recommend you use Papago instead. Something that Google Translate cannot do. And by the way, this is Papa. Sometimes if you click on it, it randomly translates. It's like the phrase of the day. But this is Papago. Hey, there's me. The reflection of me. Sorry. And there's you guys in the chat box. So Papago, something that's really nice. And I'm sorry my phone is nasty. But you And hi, I'm typing something. Hi, my name is Megan. There's this button. We can click this, and it changes it to formal speech. So in Google Translate, there's not as much awareness of like formality. And when you're speaking to people who you don't know or strangers, people older than you, it's good to be respectful. And so you want to make sure that that button is clicked on if you are speaking with somebody on the streets. And it's also just more accurate because Google Translate, I mean, it's got a million languages in its brain. So it's not going to be as accurate as Papago is going to be. So I really, really, really recommend that you use Papago instead. And it has the capability where you can take a picture and highlight over it with your finger and translate it and all that stuff as well, just like Google Translate. So really recommend that. Google Translate is great, but when Koreans post IG stories or whatever else that can't be auto translated, that's when it would be handy to study Korean. Yeah. It is always good to study Korean because sometimes, like, even when I'm typing it in there and I click enter, I'm like, that's not right. Like incorrect. So it is really good, obviously, to study some phrases on your own, but some people don't have time just because they're coming to Korea for just a quick trip. They want to see the place and they can't learn the whole language in time. And that's okay too. That's why technology is amazing. Like, I hate it, but I love it. Definitely makes life a lot easier when you want to travel. Do you know about the extreme COVID lockdown in Shanghai? Yes, I've heard about in a lot of China in the past like month or so. There's like an extreme lockdown. So the Lord does not want us to live in fear, so I will not live in fear. I will continue to just trust Him in whatever is to come. But it is really, really sad how some countries are still experiencing war, lockdown. The world is so broken. The Lord needs to come soon. Make all things new, please. I'm going to Korea in July. I will study at Yonsei. So exciting. I'm so excited for you. How do you feel? Are you starting at the beginning? Where are you at in the process? Papa go. Papa go 좋아요. 나도. Hello, joining quickly between two work meetings. Oh no, hi. You busy girl. How are you though? Good to see you. If I were to come there as a trainee, what type of visa do I get? I'm confused. Are you saying like a trainee for K-pop? Is that what you're trying to say? Trainees would be on entertainment visas. Entertainment visa is all things acting, movie, dancing, all of that jazz. You would need an entertainment visa. In order to get an entertainment visa, you would have to be sponsored by a company, and they have to basically pay for your visa. You're going to have to sign a contract with a company, and you have to be very, very careful because anybody signing contracts from another country or overseas, there are so many people who are just looking to get your money, or they say things that are wrong, like you need to pay for some of it. You do not need to pay for any of it. You should not be paying for any of the visa. Maybe you're gonna have to pay for like a ticket or something, but like they will scam you basically. And it's so much better to find inside connections or to come to Korea and speak with companies in person. And so, I know that's not okay for everybody, but if you can come as a tourist and make connections and sign in person and then like switch your visa, you might still have to leave the country and come back, but it's a lot safer than signing from afar, or at least get in contact with like a lawyer or get in contact with people here who know a lot about the trainee entertainment industry. You'll start from level 1. Good, exciting. I hope you are prepared. Get a good night's rest of sleep because hopefully, just like all these other people in the world that are talking about their Korean language school experience, it goes fast, but it's good, and hopefully your Korean will improve quickly. I'm excited for you to get here. Is the inflation that bad right now? Prices all over. I know in America it is really bad. I personally, okay, so when I say I live on a budget, and the video that's coming out either tomorrow or the day after, it's all about probably the day after now that I think about it. Well, I might be able to finish it tomorrow. But the video I'm making is about how to live in Korea on a budget, or how to save money, like ways to save money while living in Korea. That's what I meant to say. And oh, hi happy drawings. It has been a while. It is good to see you again. Always good to see your face. Um Not seeing your face, your name. Always good to see your name. But the way that I live is so frugal and so yeah, I have a tight budget at all times. So I don't maybe splurge a ton. Just sometimes I go out to eat or have like a nice meal. Most of the time I am buying, like the cheapest everything. So I try really, really hard to not spend a ton of money on a day-to-day basis. So a lot of the things that I'm buying the prices really are just they are what they are. So taking the bus, going to my school cafeteria or like a cafe on my school, it's all cheap. Or like going to the store and buying certain things that I've been buying forever. I do think that the price went up a little bit, but I didn't notice it in any like, way where I'm like, whoa, I can't afford anything. So I'm really thankful that I don't think it has hit the inflation that's been happening in many countries. I don't think it's anywhere near as bad here. So I'm really grateful for that because your girl is on a budget. She broke. Sorry for the yawn. I do have to go to bed soon because I have to get up at 6:50 every day. Da, da. Hey Megan, quick question. I read I need to get the K net 24 to 40 hours before I go. K net. I'm not sure what the K net is. This is the first time I've heard K net. Let me see if I can look up. What is K net? Is it a type of test? I am not seeing anything about KNET. Maybe you need to give me an explanation as to what that is, and then I can maybe answer, hopefully. I will live in Hongdae. Do you think it is a good place? Is there a better place to live? Do you have any suggestions? I really recommend you watch the video that comes out tomorrow or the day after. But I do think I think it's a really good area to live if you are maybe on the younger side or if you're on a budget. It's a really good area to live. You don't have to live in Hongdae. You can live maybe on the outskirts of Hongdae, save a little bit on your rent because Hongdae can kind of get a little bit expensive. But college areas are really good places, really, really good places to live. I'll explain it more in the video. It is called How to Save Money Living in Korea, probably something like that. It'll be the next video after the free mandatory testing video. What is your income in Korea? So I can't have a job. I thought I could. I cannot. You're allowed to work on a Korean visa or on a student visa, but you're not allowed to work for 6 months after arrival. So fun. I, before this, worked really I busted my butt. I worked a lot of door dashing. Wow, it's crazy to even think that I did that like 2 months ago. I was door dashing, which is bringing food from the restaurant to someone's house, or shipped shopping, which is you buy groceries for people and bring them to their house. I was going ham. I was making almost no money, but we were trying. And some days I worked like 14 hours a day. Just because I wanted to come back to Korea and have some kind of money. So I am on a very, very strict budget because I do not have any income other than YouTube. YouTube is the only form of income that I have, and it makes me a whopping maybe $120 a month. So we're thriving. But I have like my coffee page, which allows you guys to graciously help and support me, which I always link in my videos. But I saved up a lot, and I've saved up my whole life. I work so hard to go for my dreams, and I hope that encourages someone that, you are your own worst enemy. So if you think you can't, or if you think it'll never happen, it won't, because you're in your own way. And truly, by like the Lord's grace and love, He opened up all these doors for me to like get really good orders doing that, or have really generous people who found my YouTube channel and just wanted to thank me because of your guys' support. That's what really allowed me to be able to come. But I did work really hard, and that is what allows me to live here. So your support is what got me here, and it does help provide as well, because some people give monthly, like small portions to buy a meal for me, or buy a cup of coffee for me, because I always edit my videos usually at cafes, because I can't focus in my house. I get too distracted and I'm too lazy, and I just want to go up there and sleep. But uh, the Lord put people in my life that allows me to sit here today. And it's because of, the way that God made me, that I enjoy making videos. I love helping people. All of that is why, uh, like, it's what led me to make videos, which is what led to you guys like thanking me and wanting to support me, which allowed me to come here. And now I'm pursuing my dreams. Am I on a budget and I'm, eating a lot of ramen, or eating, eggs mostly? Yeah, but I love it. I would rather be broke and happy than, uh, rich and, just doing what everybody tells you to do. Oh my gosh. 메가는 커피숍 해주세요. 감사합니다. 정말 감사합니다. 사이토. 감사합니다. Thank you so much. You really didn't have to do that. Thank you so much, though. Thank you. um, but yeah, I would much rather be where I am, than just doing what everybody tells you to do. Have the kids, get married, settle down, just stay in America, get a good job. I am working on my own business. I'm working my butt off to hopefully be able to do this full time. So that is what my goal is. And so another thing that I do want to talk about is my friend speeding event. I opened up some more slots. If you don't know what my friend speeding event is, I'll quickly drop my website below with the connecting to like where it is. But this is a way for people to come and meet me, but also meet other people who are coming to Korea. And something I haven't told anybody about until this moment is that when people come to this event, I have a separate group chat on Instagram, and it's a way that you can. I always in that group, I send places that I go that I really like, or I answer people's questions quickly in that app, and then also we have a meetup in the people who have come to the friend speeding events. In 2 weekends, we're all going to get lunch together. So it is a really wonderful event to be able to meet other people, get connected with more people who live in Seoul or coming to Seoul. So if you are interested, meeting people, hanging out, being able to be a part of that group chat, that is one way to do it. And I'm started paying like a subscription so I can allow people within the group to go into like breakout rooms. So right now it's only $7 per session. And I'm gonna have to maybe bump it up like a few dollars, just because I am paying for that subscription. So if you want to get it before I bump up the price and you want to come hang out, these will be the last 2 sessions that are at the price that they're at. So that's just a little plug in there. And then another question let me quickly read these comments. I got distracted. I'm sorry. In one of your videos, you recommend getting 2 PCR tests just in case those tests doesn't come out before your departure time. Do you know if insurance will cover for 2 PCR tests? So you have to call your insurance and ask your insurance, because every insurance company is different. Um, if you go to like CVS versus like Walgreens, you go separate places, there's a better chance that your insurance would cover both, versus if you went to the same store uh, twice. So I do think that is a good idea. I do think that going to different stores is just more helpful, because if something bad happens at CVS, it doesn't matter if you take 1 or 2 tests, that bad thing is probably still happening. So, it's good to go to 2 different places. I do know that since I came to Korea that they no longer give free tests out to uninsured people. English is hard. And I also know that the NAAT test, rapid antigen test from Walgreens, is also considered technically like a PCR test. If you look it up, this is what someone else is telling me, but I used that test to come to Korea. So I do think that if maybe you got like a PCR test from CBS and you went to Walgreens and you got the rapid antigen test, that would be a good pairing up as well in case something goes wrong at either. And that rapid antigen test comes back within a few hours usually. Um, I do know that somebody else just used that rapid antigen test, but I am hearing that they're changing it to maybe just PCR, so I'll keep you updated if the NAAT test doesn't work out, but I do think that that would be a good backup plan because it does go quickly. The rapid antigen test is fast. Da, da, da. I am working on animation for YouTube content so I can draw you as my character. Oh my gosh, yeah, you can draw me if you want. That would be so sweet. I didn't know. I mean, happy drawings. Okay, it makes sense. That makes sense. Just send me anything and I'll watch it and support you. Wow, great to hear DoorDash works as I have thought about that in the past. That is so true about God providing. Amen. I also wonder, will you pick something up like okay, so first section, DoorDash is really good. I don't know if I loved it. Especially with gas prices these days. Is it worth the money with that kind of gas price? I don't think so. I really don't think so because gas, there is a lot of gas and you have to get good at it. So make sure you watch YouTube videos on how to DoorDash well. And then uh the Lord is so good. He provides. Amen. Amen. I truly I saved up so much because I worked so hard that if you can't tell, I haven't been able to get as much. I do post on my Instagram more than I do on YouTube. And I do update you guys or provide helpful feedback and all that stuff. Um, I'm trying so hard that while I still have the money, I focus on that. Like I focus on YouTube, I focus on Instagram as like my job. So maybe I'm not making a lot of money, but once the money starts to get into the category of like, okay, I'm getting a little nervous, I don't have a lot of funds, that's when I will, switch over to like, okay, maybe I need to take a step back from YouTube sadly and go into like a different realm of providing money, which would suck because I would have to really not be I would not be able to make as many videos, and I already only am able to really get out, like, 1 video a week. So, praying that that doesn't happen because I do love this channel, and I do wanna keep, pursuing YouTube with everything I got. Everything I got. Who would be the issuing agency for a COVID vaccine verification? For the COVID vaccine verification. Um I'm not totally sure I understand. Are you talking about if you're coming to Korea, you're gonna need a Q code, I believe is what it's called. So you can just type in Q code. Oh, someone asked me KETA is probably what you're talking about. The KETA, that is for people who are coming as a tourist. So if you're coming as a tourist, they no longer allow you to just like pull up and say, "Hi, I'd like to stay here." They expect you to fill out the KETA in advance. That is correct. It does cost a little bit of money, but it's valid for like 2 years. So for 2 years, you basically have like a visa tourist pass that you can come back and forth to Korea for the 3 months at a time, continuously as long as you get approved. Sorry, I did not answer. Hopefully, you're still here. But for the COVID vaccine certification, so that you don't have to quarantine, you have to go to something online. It's called like the Q code. I wonder if I can quickly find the link. The Q code. Here we go. So you're going to need to fill this out in order to come and skip the quarantine. You can fill all of that out and then you'll get like a Q code, which allows you to, when you arrive in Korea, show them that you are vaccinated, and then it allows you to skip quarantine. And if you want to go back to the beginning of this video, I explained at the beginning of the video about the testing situation. Maybe about like 15 minutes in, actually. It's not at the very beginning. Do you think you can live permanently for a long time? 5 years in Korea, your financial situation. Okay, so I cannot live in Korea if my YouTube channel does not continue to grow. It has grown. I started my YouTube channel just about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago. So the fact that I was able to get monetized in 3 months is because of all the research I did about YouTube in advance, and the Lord helped me out. So, every day my subscriber count is going up, and I am so, so thankful for that. So, it's the matter of I'm hoping that it can become like a full-time job, but it's I gotta keep trying. That's all I can do. But right now, it's very much up in the air what my future looks like, and a little intimidating. Wanted to think about it, but I've got some time. I got time. So I got to keep using my time wisely. That is true about gas prices. Also, it regards to the BCS test comment last October when I went to England. What we did was tell the clinic it should be expedited. Okay, yeah. So you can tell a clinic if you go somewhere it should be expedited. In America, I don't think I had a lot of luck telling people that it was for travel, and then that would be like expedited more. It was more I wanted to ask the clinic in advance, usually how long does it take for the results to come back, and make sure that it's within 48 hours. And that's why I always recommend you do two different tests in case one doesn't come back in time. You're not completely like out of luck, or you have to pay for a rapid PCR test, and those cost hundreds of dollars, and we don't want that for anybody. Your live participants are increasing. I don't even watch it. If anybody watches, I'm happy. If there's someone I could talk to, great. I love it. Didn't know the KETA existed. Yeah, for all tourists, you have to have the KETA in order to get into Korea. $9 in the USA. Yeah, so it wasn't very expensive, and it's good for 2 years. Thanks. We can promote each other to boost number of subscribers on each other's channel. So funny thing about promoting other channels is if the channel is not in your realm or your niche, it is not worth promoting because you want the algorithm to know who you are and what videos you post. And so for me to point people to you, like nobody watching my channel is interested. Maybe they are, but like they're not watching my videos because of drawing. They want to watch my videos because of Korea and understanding. So it's very interesting because when you collaborate with people or you promote with people, you want to make sure your content is in the same area because that way it helps you as well so that the right people are clicking on your videos and YouTube understands, oh, these people like drawing, and then your videos will get promoted more. So that is something very important, by the way. There's a question on the Q code website when filling in vaccine information. Who is the issuing agency? Only who emergency vaccines are approved? Would that only who emergency So I'm not totally sure I understand. Maybe there's like a bit of translation confusion. Who is the issuing agency would make me think that it is like, where did you get vaccinated? Like, did you go to CVS? Did you go to a hospital? And then they will only accept certain vaccines as being approved, but the certain vaccines would be like Pfizer, Moderna, correct? Have you been to Jeju Island? I have not. I do want to go, but it is actually not on the top of my priority list because it is difficult to travel within Jeju. And so, not horrible, like just there's bus systems, there's public transportation, it just takes longer. And so, I think I would rather stay on the mainland for a little. And also, fun fact if anybody's trying to travel within, I believe it's 14 days of your arrival in Korea, you have to stay on the ground for 14 days. You cannot like get up and take a plane anywhere for the first 14 days. I believe it's either 14. I'm pretty sure it's 14. It's either like 14 or 18, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Pretty sure it's 2. You cannot travel. So just so you know, you can't like get here and like hang out and then, oh, I want to go after a few days, like, oh, I want to head on over to some other place. So just one of my friends got in trouble for doing that. but they're fine. Trouble as in they were told not to do it, but they had to come home, so. Um, I'm coming for a few weeks at the end of June. My phone charger says I can't use it internationally. Can I get a burner phone or is there a way to uh oh, okay, sorry. So I read that completely wrong and I thought you meant like your charger, your phone charger. I don't know why I thought that, but I thought you meant your phone charger. I was like, get a new charger. So, da 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 da. I have a video all about SIM cards. It's called like SIM cards and QR codes. I should probably edit away the QR part because there's no QR codes anymore. But I do talk in that in the SIM card video about how I have known people to have 2 phones. Um, Sometimes you can get your phone unlocked. It sounds like you can't. So one of my friends just brought like an old phone that takes SIM cards, and they just put in a Korean SIM card when they got here. They bought one in advance, and I talk about the way that you can buy SIM cards in advance in that video. So I really recommend you check out the video on SIM cards. A lot of other travel vloggers I know make a Patreon page to get funds. Do you have something like this? Other ideas have seen them. So yeah, I have it's not Patreon, but it's just like Patreon. It's called Kofi. Coffee spelled Kofi. Fun, isn't it? And it's the same thing, kind of like as Patreon. I just personally I like it a little bit more because it's a little bit more interactive. I just made a post on there about how things have been going, I guess you could say. Let me see. Can I can I copy and paste this too? I can. Would you look at that? So yeah, so that's my page and I just posted on there like a long blog about my trip and like what my schedule is like for the day, things like this. So if you want to check that out, usually I make the posts private to people who support me because it's like a little insider knowledge for people who have graciously given. It's a good way to kind of get an insider scoop of how my day's been going. And I usually do that once a month, sometimes every other month or every twice a month, bi-monthly. Once a month or twice a month, and I'll do sometimes in video format or I'll do in blog format. And yeah, it's just like a little bit of a more inside scoop. So that is what I do for like my Patreon, but no pressure ever for anybody. It's just, it means a lot because it does keep me afloat. And it does prolong the idea of me having to like back away from the YouTube channel because eventually, if my channel doesn't grow, I will have to find other ways to make a living, you know? But I'm hoping that I can at least switch to an entertainment visa, which would allow me to keep making videos more often. Hopefully. I see mailbox system, mail delivery is different in Korea. Yes. So it's very interesting. In my apartment, we have like the wall of the envelopes and all of that jazz. And they're all open. They just your mail is just there, and often the letters don't even go all the way in. They just stick out. But that kind of shows you that there's a letter there. But overall, Korea is just going to be way more safe because there's cameras, and like if you do something wrong, it's probably getting caught on camera. That does not mean that Korea is 100% completely safe, by the way. Like it does help, but it doesn't mean it's 100% safe. So just be careful like you would in any other country as far as like, not walking down the back alley by yourself at 3 a.m. and there's a squad of 4 people, in the back of the back alley, it's maybe not your best choice. So be careful, but there are cameras. So a lot of people like in apartments, they'll leave stuff outside their apartment door, like belongings, water bottles, things like this. In America, we could never just like leave our stuff outside. If you have a package, you bring it in. So it is very fascinating that mailboxes are open. There's just so much that's like open, like nobody will take it. Like I can go to the bathroom, leave my computer. In America, if I go to the bathroom, I kind of like need to pack up my stuff or I have to ask a stranger, like, hey, can you watch my stuff for me? Because I don't really trust to leave it. So that is a big difference. That is a big difference. Note for Korean SIM cards, make sure you top off, pay monthly fees before they expire. I didn't pay mine last week and I couldn't use it or top it up at all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so if you don't top it off or if things don't happen in the right amount of time, yeah, sometimes that does happen, and that really does suck because you have to get a completely new SIM card or a completely new phone. You should, top it up in advance, or, like, if it's a subscription, it's not all like, if you pay for 1 month of subscription, doesn't mean it's automatic, so you should check to see if it is automatic or not. Let's see. I'll read these last few and then I'll probably head to bed because I have to get up at 6:50. That is great. Does the entertainment visa allow you to work there immediately? And what criteria do you need for an entertainment visa? So, entertainment visa is more about finding the right company. And the way that I would be able to find the right company would involve my channel growing. So, to get with a good company involves growth on my channel. And there's not like a specific, once I hit this many subscribers, I've got it. But it's just the more that your channel grows, the more followers that you have, the more people are like, oh, so people know you and they trust you and you have an audience. And so we want to promote, or we want to work with you because you already have people following you. And so there's already this whole audience that we have kind of like access to. So that's the same thing with brands. I usually don't work with brands unless they're willing to treat me in a way that not only shows like reflection of like they care about me, but also reflection of like they care about my audience. Like I'm not going to work with a brand that doesn't give you guys like a discount code or something that like helps you as well, or I'm not going to promote something that I don't use myself or like myself. I would never be like, you should buy this just to get the money because my name is attached to that. So I only accept brands that I love or enjoy working with. So things like that. So there's not like a set number of subscribers. It's just the more, the better, the more, the merrier, kind of. And if I did get a entertainment visa, I would have to maybe potentially, I'm pretty sure, maybe potentially, I'm pretty sure, leave Korea and then come back to like switch to an entertainment visa. But I'm not 100% sure if I can just switch to it. But it would allow me to work like doing those reaction videos or movies, TV shows. I'd be able to be paid for that kind of stuff. I sadly had someone reach out to me. It was a really good gig and offered pretty decent money. It would have paid my rent for a few months. And I had to deny it because I'm not allowed to work on a student visa. So stuff like that is a little depressing when that opportunity does come. And if I was on an entertainment visa, I could have taken it. So that sucks, but just praying that more future opportunities are like that, you know, in God's perfect timing. But for now, I just have to work on school and putting as much effort as I can into this channel. Lord, I need your help though. That's for sure. How did you find your apartment? It's a long story, but I had a wonderful friend who really, 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 really helped me out the whole way. the whole the whole way. And if it wasn't for that friend, all of this would never have happened. But I did use an app called, I think it's called Chickbang. Chickbang? Is that what it's called? 잠시만요. Chickbang. And honestly, the only reason why it's good is it kind of gets you, yeah, chickbang. A lot of the posts on there, the apartment is taken by the time you see it, but it gets you in contact with the people that know the other apartments that are available. And so you're going to need someone that speaks Korean in order to help with that situation. So you can either hire someone that can help translate, or there are English, like real estate agencies as well. But Jikbang, it's spelled Jik. Oh my gosh, the font is so small. And that is the app that I use to find this one. That is a bummer about the student visa. Yeah, God will still provide. A to the man. A to the men. He already got me here. He made a way. He keeps making a way. The door's opened. God is good. That's why I'm here. So I'm going to keep using it to my best of my ability, but I do have to hit the hay, as they say. I do have to go to bed just because I have to get up early, and tomorrow is a new day with a new book. We have to break out our new book. Speaking of which, I should bring my books to school. But it was really wonderful talking with you guys. I appreciate your presence. I'm glad that you could come. I hope I answered some of your questions. Hit the like button for me because that does help my channel grow, and leave a comment in like the comment section because that also helps. It can be anything, but the just just a comment helps anywhere on any video. Thank you guys so much for loving me well, supporting me often. Message me on Instagram if you have any questions. Hit up speed friending if you want to meet me and some others who want to travel the world as well. And I will see you in the next one. Much love. 사랑해. And I'll see you guys soon. Video soon. I'm saying it to keep myself accountable. Tomorrow or the day after, we're getting a video up. Good night. 안녕.